Whoa, look at that!
Oh, hey guys! Welcome to Movie Night with Bridget
And Riley, where we talk all things film for you, our fellow film fans.
I am feeling a bit sad about today, but I'm also excited for this episode.
Right, I can't believe it's our last episode.
Well guys, today we're focusing on the world of animation, the best genre obviously. Now before we get into it, we need to get into some basics.
I agree.
Well, did you know the earliest motion picture was an animation by Edward Muybridge in 1878? Horse in Motion is a series of photos which played using a zoopraxiscope.
A zoopraxa what?
A zoopraxiscope. It's basically an old version of a projector.
I've got one of those.
Really? Anyways, jumping forward half a century, Walt Disney created Steamboat Willie using cell animation, which is one of the most traditional forms of animation, where characters are hand-drawn on clear celluloid sheets and placed over painted backgrounds, just like in the original Dumbo, Bambi, and even in modern shows like SpongeBob.
No way, that was literally my childhood.
And that brings us today with CGI being the most common way to create animations like...
Shrek!
Yes, like in Shrek.
Whoa, I didn't know you were an animation expert. You know, all this talk kind of makes me want to be an animator.
Your wish is my command.
What?
Hey guys, today we're here in the Deakin Computer Labs and Bridget is going to walk both me and you guys through her animation process.
Okay, so like any animation, you have to plan it out, and first you kind of decide what you want your characters to look like. So I decided to do a wizard, and I decided he, like pretty a generic wizard, have glasses. I was deciding the nose shape here, and the hat shape, like what kind of beard he would have. And I went through a few ideas whether I wanted him to drink a potion, and I wanted the colors to be kind of like dark purples and greens, and I decided, I was messing around with him turning into a rat here, but I decided that he would turn into color. So once I knew my idea, I started doing the storyboard, which is planning out the frames of like how your story's gonna go. Basically gives you like something to follow when you're making it. And each frame will be 25, each second is 25 frames per second. So that's the average. It's the best one for having a smooth video. It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
Yeah, maybe I'll just stick to watching them. Which brings us to our next topic, the different styles of animation.
Personally, I'm a huge anime fan. Did you know that it also uses traditional animation techniques, just like the earlier times we discussed from Walt Disney?
No way. So you're telling me that people still sit for hours on end drawing each frame?
Yep.
So if it's 25 frames per second, that's like 1,500 frames in a minute. I've got to stop taking these movies for granted.
You know, I heard from My Neighbor Totoro, Miyazaki and his team actually went on field trips to most of the forests in Japan so that they could find inspiration for the worlds that they create.
No wonder the cinematography of Studio Ghibli films are so stunning. Not only is the aesthetic breathtaking, but his stories also tackle realistic themes that both appeal to both children and adult audiences.
Yeah, like in Grave of Fireflies, it's based on real experiences before, during, and after the firebombing of Kobe. In 1945, this film tackles loss, heartbreak, and the effect that war has on people.
Hearing it out loud does sound like it shouldn't be seen by kids, but that just proves that Studio Ghibli's storytelling is on another level.
Have you seen Studio Ghibli's newest film, The Boy and the Heron? It's also the last film we'll be seeing from Miyazaki.
I haven't, but I did see it in the popular section of Letterboxd for the longest time. Also, the cast is insane. Robert Pattinson, Christian Bale, Mark Hamill, Dave Bautista, Florence Pugh, Greta Lee.
Okay, we get it. Anyways, it was about a young troubled boy who ends up in another realm after his mother dies. I won't give you any spoilers, but the characters were complex and rich, and the storytelling was so nuanced I could go on and on.
Okay, enough on anime. How about a new topic? How about...
Oh, I know. How about animation mixed with live action?
Adam Sandler being besties with the President of the United States and fighting a massive Pac-Man to save the world? I think we should move on.
Okay, how about mixed animation?
What's that?
It's when animators don't stick to one style but mix digital and traditional methods, like in Into the Spider-Verse, which blends 3D animation with traditional 2D comic book illustrations.
I love that movie.
And to think Joshua Bevride, the ImageWorks animation supervisor, and his team thought that since some of the visuals were a big risk, a large majority of their audience would hate the movie.
And now it is a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 4.5 letterbox rating.
Yeah, it only took over 140 animators and 4 years.
Okay, what about stop motion?
What about it?
Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Did you know the Lego movie didn't actually use stop motion? They used computer-generated realistic Lego pieces to create the film in a stop motion look.
I had no idea.
Also, for you watching, stop motion is the process of moving an object in very small stages and taking a photo at each stage. And so, when you play all those images together, they create a motion picture.
That sounds just as exhausting as traditional hand-drawn animation. I don't think I'd have the patience to pursue my animation career anymore.
Okay, so what about when you were kids? Can you remember any stop motion films and shows you would have seen?
Oh, I know Shaun the Sheep.
Yes, Nick Park has animated multiple stop motions, including Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run, and Shaun the Sheep.
Did you know that Nick Park's Chicken Run was DreamWorks' highest grossing film in animation history, making over $220 million? But it was beaten by Shrek the following year.
That reminds me of Wes Anderson's stop motion films.
How does that remind you of Wes?
Well, I don't know, Chicken Run, chickens, Wes stop motions have animals in them. Okay, I don't know, word association is a weird thing.
Okay, which one should we even discuss?
Let's talk Fantastic Mr. Fox. But first, a moment for the cast. As in every film by Wes, we have the faces of George Clooney, Jason Schwartzman, Owen Wilson, William Dafoe, and Adrian Brody. But with this film, we also have Cate Blanchett and Meryl Streep, Mother.
This story of a middle-aged father's midlife crisis that results in the entire animal community having a near-death experience. Its heart-wrenching story contrasts its very youthful and visually Wes Anderson aesthetic, is probably the reason why it has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.3 letterbox rating, but it's a 5 in my books.
Okay, my fellow film fans, we've saved the best for last, in our opinion, of course. We're going to talk a little bit about Leica Studios. They're an American production company founded in 2005 by Travis Knight that specializes in claymation.
Wait, he's not related to you, is he?
If he was, you'd know. And you know what my favorite movie is. Coraline.
I love Coraline. Come to think of it, all the stop motion films we've brought up have mostly been claymation. Claymation has the same process as stop motion, but features characters made of clay that are remodeled and manipulated for each frame. So Bridget, why don't you tell us more about Coraline?
I would be ever so delighted. Leica Studios' 2009 film Coraline is a story of a young girl who walks through a secret door in her new home, only to enter to an alternate reality with sinister secrets.
I used to think it was the scariest movie when I was younger.
A lot of people did, but I think it is the perfect mix of mild horror, amazing storytelling, and an amazing aesthetic. I just love it so much, and apparently many other film fans do too, giving a Letterboxd review of 4.2 stars.
I think those are enough styles for today.
I agree, but what should we do now?
Why don't we go do some claymation?
No way. We've already gone over how tedious stop motion is, and I think we both lack the amount of patience. But I actually do know someone who's a skilled claymation and animation artist. Let's take a look at an interview I had with our very special guest. For this episode, we have a very special guest. Please welcome Oscar-nominated BAFTA, MIFF, and St. Kilda Film Festival winning director, just to name a few, Anthony Lucas.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you so much for making the time to come talk animation with us. Tell us a little bit how you came into the world of animation.
I started making comic books at home. I made one when I was 7. I made a comic book on a stuntman called Evel Knievel.
Oh, God.
And he had a friend called, truly, it was in the newspaper, Awful Knorful.
Oh.
And Evel Knievel did this jump across Snake Canyon, which ended in disaster, which was fantastic. And so I did a comic book, and then that led to making miniatures. I used to make dinosaurs with real fish teeth. Mum would get the ants to eat the rest of the fish head, and I'd get the snapper teeth, and they had really good fangs, and I'd put them into plasticine dinosaurs. And then Star Wars came out in '77 when I was 11, and I went twice in the one day, and the chess sequence. So C-3PO's playing with the Wookiee.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an stop-motion animated chess sequence.
Is that so the, like, you know how it's the screen thing? How did they overlay that?
Holographics.
Yes.
Yeah, they just did they did some video effect on the animation, and then just a double exposed it onto the film, so it was a bit see-through.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit low-tech, actually.
Yeah.
But that sequence, and then I animated something based on that, dinosaurs and a bit of adventure. And what was the other thing I got fascinated by? Oh, King Kong, the old King Kong. And I used to take all my friends over to this cinema, the local cinema, and they'd play this black and white old movie with King Kong and Fay Ray, and I got all the books I could get on it, which was actually... I have a lot of books now. I actually had one book on it then. But, you know, just how they did stop motion, and they had real plants.
Oh,
and they'd film around the real plants, and sometimes if they didn't pay much attention, the plants would bloom. Like the flower bloomed in one of the shots, so they wasted the shot.
So do you have a medium that you think gives you more creative freedom?
Animation gives you more creative freedom because you play, you know, architect for it. When you've got a live action thing, you've got less control because you can't always create the whole world and the sky. Yeah. And in Slim Pickings, I created the sky. Yeah. It's a little godlike kind of process. But with live action, you sort of, it's a little bit theatre, and it's a bit like recognising chance. Yeah.
I see you've brought some things for us to look at. I have to ask, can I have a little look?
Absolutely, Bridget. So this is, I'll put them here and then I'll pass them over. This is some props from Slim Pickings. And that shows you the two different scales. Like sometimes for a bigger close-up, I'd want a larger can because you've got better depth of field on a larger object. With a smaller object, you have less depth of field. In fact, there's one shot in Slim Pickings I had to junk because it had such a shallow depth of field that only like 2 centimetres of the image was in focus, and everything else in front and back totally blurred out because we were shooting with low light. One of the things I did, like here's a mangled version of the character. So Snork would sit in this little chair, and he's not really, he's a bit worse for wear at the moment. Or he can still sit. That's actually a pea. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little pea there. That was from the picnic. Pea. Yeah, that was one new pea. Oh. So when he rattled the can, out came this pea that you'd find behind the couch. Oh, yeah. After the cat had eaten it. So the light, sometimes if there was a table here in front of him, the light would sit on his lap. So I had this little tiny fluoro, very expensive. Nowadays, with an LED strip, you wouldn't think about it, but they were, I think it was about $7,000 for that lighting kit. But I don't even use it anymore. Snork was meant to have glasses like that. Really? Yeah, I just decided at the last minute to not do glasses because it would have been hell to animate. Because he had lenses too. The lenses are at home somewhere. But that's sort of really tricky to animate with.
How did you do the sweat droplets?
They are epoxy or araldite, and they have been sculpted. They've been put into a silicon mould and popped out. I think I sculpted them in plasticine, moulded them, then put in the clear substance and then popped them out. But I did a peanut butter commercial once, and we made them out of glass, so there might have been glass ones in there as well.
Do you think award shows like the Oscars appreciates animation a lot more now than it did in 2004?
No.
No?
No, I think it always has since the first talking cartoon.
Snow White?
Steamboat Willie.
Oh.
Well, shall I say not talk? Well, did they talk? Well, they made a lot of sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, they've had animation started as a short subject like Steamboat Willie and then grew into a feature category. And I think when Snow White came out, they created a category specifically for it because it was the first feature film out of Hollywood that was animated. Not the first animated feature film, that was Lottie Reiniger in Germany, who did a silhouette film called Prince Ahmed, The Adventures of Prince Ahmed. But Disney always says they came up with the first feature film, which doesn't sound like Americans at all, does it?
So I've just got another question. When hearing Australian animated feature films, most people would think of Adam Elliott's Mary and Max and most recently Memoir of a Snail. But are there any Australian animators' work you would like to see come into spotlight? Obviously including you.
Well, there's a whole sea of us. I've worked on a short the last few years as part of a feature film. The feature's called Magic Beach, and it's got 10 short films by different animators around Australia. My friend Susan Kim made one, and she made this lovely bucket for a project I did. I just took it off the shelf. But look, there's a whole lot of independent animators out there, and Adam's the most famous and probably the most entrepreneurial. I think the reason he has got where he has is his ability to write. He's a very good writer.
Finally, what is one piece of advice you, an expert in your field, can give to any aspiring animators and filmmakers watching?
Well, just keep making films. You can do them in your bedroom, you can do them in the basement, you can do them in the park if you do pixelated animations. You just got to keep making stuff. You don't need much space. One of my first animations was on my desk in my bedroom, and I'd get my brother and sister to click off the frames on the Super 8 camera. And it was really hot, and the lights were not LEDs, they were tungsten, and they'll burn you. They're that hot. And the plasticine would melt, and we'd put it in the freezer and bring it out, because it was Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
But that added to it as well. But so we made that film, and you just got to, I think with all the arts, you've just got to have faith in what you're making.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming. It was very cool to hear about all your work.
Thank you, Bridget. It was good fun.
Thank you. And back to the studio.
Wow. It's amazing to see how Australia has made its mark in animation history, with incredible filmmakers emerging every day.
And we have to talk about Australia's very own Adam Elliott. His films Mary and Max is a well-beloved Aussie treasure. The claymation film follows the friendship between two unlikely pen pals, a lonely 8-year-old from Melbourne and a 44-year-old severely obese man living in New York.
Unlike many of the other films that we have mentioned, this story is not for children. With its use of dark comedy and heavy themes about childhood, relationships, and mental health issues, the film has resonated with many adults, making it an all-time favourite.
And it also has Toni Collette, Mother. The film gained 6 wins and 9 international nominations. It also has a 4.2 Letterboxd rating and a 95% with Rotten Tomatoes. That really put Australia on the map for animation.
Also, honourable mention to Adam's newest film, which I recently saw at MIFF, Memoir of a Snail, which has a 4-star rating on Letterboxd and a shocking 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And now, with Bluey, the children's show, the box office should really watch out.
Speaking of Bluey, it's a 2D animated children's show that takes the character sketch and rigs the joints and faces so that they're still able to move. This all takes a team of animators 4 weeks to do one episode, which typically lasts 7 minutes. I wish I had that much dedication.
Oh, I almost forgot. We managed to interview some kids to ask what their favourite animated movies were. Let's take a look to see what they have to say.
Hey guys, today I'm at Melbourne Taekwondo Centre Oakley, and today I'll be talking to some kids, some Taekwondo kids, about cartoon movies and their favourite animations. Let's see what they have to say. All right, what's your name?
My name is Jonathan.
Jonathan, and what is your favourite cartoon movie?
I don't have one.
Don't have one?
No,
What? What's your favourite cartoon TV show?
don't have one.
Again?
I have multiple.
What are they?
I like Cartoon Network.
Oh yeah? What are your top 3? Do you have top 3?
I think it would be Adventure Time.
Mm-hmm.
I like Steven Universe. I like regular shows.
Oh my god, I didn't know you were this cool.
Exactly.
What? This is so, you surprised me. I'm really impressed. What's your name?
Jacob.
Jacob. All right. What's your favorite cartoon movie?
Tom and Jerry.
An awesome one. That's so old too. You like Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about do you know Chip and Dale?
Nah.
The Chipmunks. What about Tweety Bird?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He likes that one. Do you have other favorites?
SpongeBob.
That's a good one too. Do you have a favorite SpongeBob character?
SpongeBob.
That's a good choice. I'm here with Maya. Do you have a favorite cartoon movie?
I like Inside Out too.
Oh, that's a good one. I saw that one. Do you like the first one?
Yeah.
The second one better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have favorite? What about Moana?
I was in a play.
Oh
Of
yeah.
Moana.
Yeah. How was that?
It was pretty fun. I was Ancestor 1.
Oh, cool. Do you like other princess movies?
Yeah, I like the ones where they're like independent.
Oh, epic. I'm here with AJ. What is your favorite cartoon movie?
Spider-Man.
Into the Spider-Verse. Do you have a favorite character?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Spider-Man.
Epic. I'm here with Liam. Is that right? Awesome. And what is your favorite cartoon movies?
My favorite cartoon movie is probably SpongeBob.
Cool, cool. I'm here with Jacine. Have you got a favorite cartoon movie?
I like Despicable Me.
Oh yeah?
Inside Out.
Yeah.
And Ratatouille.
Oh my god, Ratatouille is such a good one. I love Ratatouille. I'm here with
Apple.
Apple. Yeah, and we've got 3 favorite movies, cartoon
Yes.
movies. What are they?
Despicable Me 4, the first.
Oh yeah?
Second, Toy Story.
That's a good one. That's the best Toy
And the
Story.
third is Inside Out 2.
Yeah, everyone loves Inside Out. Have you got a favorite cartoon character?
All the Minions.
Yeah, as a big group.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you at movie night. Bye! Bye!
Aww. Well, that's all the time we have for you guys.
It's been a blast being able to share our love for films with you all. And we'd like to thank our crew, our amazing guests, and our viewers as we wrap up our final episode.
We're sad to say goodbye, so maybe we won't.
But in the words of Truman from The Truman Show, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.